happy baby. He was a happy infant.
Withdrawn from school in 2018, Takoda Collins took his last breath the following year on December 13th, 2019. He left this world broken and isolated at the tender age of 10. His passing leaving an unforgettable mark on not only the Dayton, Ohio community, but worldwide. Takoda, another young child with the world ahead of him, taken in the most despicable way by the one who was supposed to protect, guide, and most importantly, love him. We all are aware of the hell Takoda Collins lived in the last several years of his life. So yes, this is another INTERROGATIONS deep dive, but not so much into the heartbreaking details of what we already know this baby endured, but more so a dive into a timeline of Takoda's short life. This content is for mature adults and educational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. You can find more details in the description section. Let's get into it. Robin Collins gave birth to Takoda on December 18, 2008, in Wisconsin. At the time of his birth, Robin was unable to care for Takoda. Family friends Anita and Brian took Takoda in and cared for him until he was removed from their home at 11 months old. That's when Takoda was spanked by Robin's boyfriend at the time, hard enough to trigger an investigation that resulted in Takoda being placed into foster care. Per court records, in November of 2009, Robin herself admitted to hitting Takoda. She was charged with neglecting a child, battery, and one additional charge of violence against the child. Robin pleaded no contest, received probation, and lost custody of her son. He would spend the next several years in a total of 3 different foster homes. Now, Al wasn't present in Takoda's life until he showed up out the blue, took a DNA test, and found out he was Takoda's biological father, according to Anita.
He never called. He never saw Takoda until he got with, I suppose, Human Services or Child Support would have gotten a hold of him. He came to Wisconsin and did a DNA test, and he was Takoda's father. So they took Takoda from my fiance and gave him to a complete stranger. 11 months from when he was abused to the time they gave him to Al, his dad. Brian was trying to get custody the whole time. People need to know that Takoda was very, very loved. He never wanted for anything. He was a happy child, even when he was in foster care.
In December of 2011, due to drug use, Robin's probation was revoked and she was sent to prison. Her mother, Kelly, said she tried to get custody of Takoda.
I tried getting custody of him, but I had 3 other grandkids I was taking care of and working a full-time job. They said I had too much on my plate.
While Robin's in prison, Al meets Amanda, and he made his first appearance on her Facebook page on October 11th, 2012. Amanda also posted Takoda for the first time on March 28th, 2013, as he was coloring eggs during what looks to have been better days for him. He was 4 at the time. Now, ironically, on the same day Amanda made this post, a child support petition was filed in Dane County, Wisconsin, listing Robin as the petitioner. This confused me initially because per DOC records, Robin wasn't released from prison until July of 2013. However, as I reviewed the case details, the filing's class code reads UIFSA incoming. UIFSA is the acronym for the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act, which is a law that's adopted in all 50 U.S. states that ensures child and spousal support orders can be enforced and modified across state lines. So I'm assuming Robin didn't file this. It was a child support enforcement filing from North Carolina because Al's address on file at the time was this home located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Apparently, a judgment was ordered and in place in North Carolina, which led to a new petition being filed 7 months later on October 10th, 2013, to modify the judgment in place in North Carolina. This filing has Al listed as the petitioner. His address on file was then updated to this location in Madison, Wisconsin. They also had the wrong address for Robin. She was served the summons on October 16th, 2013. Her new address was updated to a female residential treatment center, also located in Madison. After Robin was served on Al's petition, she wrote a letter to the judge asking that Al be prevented from taking Takoda out of state and that he was already under investigation for his treatment of Takoda by Wisconsin Child Protective Services. Robin's mother also sent a couple letters regarding Takoda's placement, and there was a status conference held on October 23rd. Robin didn't show up for that hearing, and the judge granted sole custody and primary placement of Takoda to Al. At the time the court made the decision to place Takoda with this monster, he had already pleaded guilty to beating and choking a man. 3 days after the custody decision, he was accused and charged for hitting Amanda over the head with a pipe, dragging her by her hair to a car and punching her before driving away. Amanda never cooperated and the charges were later dismissed. On February 26, 2014, Robin contacts the court again, advising that Al had moved Takoda to Union City, Tennessee. She tried explaining how Al had just ripped Takoda out of school and left the state. She had no idea how Takoda was doing. 4 months later, in June, Al filed with the courts his intent to move with Takoda to Pennsylvania. Now, per records, Robin signed a notarized letter agreeing to the move, then wrote a handwritten letter days later saying that she was bullied and pressured into signing the document. Almost exactly a year to the date that Al was granted sole custody of Takoda, the court ruled that he was allowed to move with him to Pennsylvania. And we now know that Pennsylvania was not the destination. I wonder if those words haunt the judge that made that ruling, because circumstances for sure changed for Takoda. He was not taken to Pennsylvania. He ended up in Dayton, Ohio. December 2014, Amanda purchased the house on Kensington Drive. Things seemed to get quiet for a couple years until February of 2016. Montgomery County Children's Services called Dayton police for a well check regarding possible mistreatment of Takoda's older brother. No one answered the door when officers arrived. After that call, there were several 911 calls made by either Al or Amanda for domestic-related issues between the two of them and the two of them against their neighbors. In August, Takoda's older brother ran away. Once he was found, he told police that he is forced to do squats while holding a heavy backpack as punishment. Police contacted Children's Services and officers are told that a referral was made. Police actually attempted to search the home, but they couldn't access some parts because of their pit bulls. Officers noticed cameras inside and outside of the house, but Al told them that the cameras didn't record and they were only there for show. Now, fast forward to 2018. On May 11th, Dayton Public School workers and Montgomery County Children's Services requested a welfare check on Takoda. They believed that he was not being cared for and mistreated. Police responded again but got no answer at the door. After that call was made, school staff said that they never saw Takoda again. He was pulled from school before the end of the school year, between May 12th and the 24th. July 31st, 2018, he was officially withdrawn from the district and is homeschooled supposedly. Taking a look at the incident report, the intake information, it was reported on May 11th around 12:04. It was closed by 12:44. The comments on the report state that a requested check on third grade student Takoda Collins. The complainant advised that she had to call Children's Services on Wednesday to report abuse by juvenile's father, Al McLean. Complainant advised today that Al called the school advising that Takoda was sick. Complainant concerned that juvenile may be being mistreated and not actually sick. Complainant wants contact upon findings. At 12:26, a caseworker with Children's Services called to also ask for a well check for the same child and requested officers call with results. The disposition about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes later, was that no answer at the door, called both parties and advised, and they closed it. In November 2018, Amanda and Al called the police on Takoda, complaining that he was being unruly. The police again went to complete a welfare check on Takoda. They spoke with both Al and Amanda. Al explained everything started on Friday. Takoda started screaming he sees blood from the front porch, and if he touches the kid on the front porch, he will disappear. Amanda asked Takoda how he got outside. Amanda stated Takoda told her he broke the window above the porch and jumped off the roof. Al then says they took him to the hospital where they told him his leg was cut and put a cast on him. Al states that on Saturday, November 17th, when they got home from the doctors, Takoda continued to be disrespectful by cussing and screaming at them while throwing miscellaneous items around the house. Al stated that while Takoda was throwing items around the house, he broke a window in the living room. Al then goes on to explain that on Sunday, November 18th, while trying to put Takoda to bed, Takoda started cussing at him and Amanda. Al stated that Takoda told them he didn't see any blood or vampires, but has been lying. Al stated Takoda told them he just wanted to be disrespectful. Al stated that Takoda had also been going to the bathroom around the house on the floor and leaving it for him to find. Al requested that the officers take Takoda to the Juvenile Justice Center for breaking items in the house and being disrespectful. They put Takoda in handcuffs and escorted him to the back seat of a cruiser, a police car. On the way to the cruiser, Takoda was limping due to him not wearing a cast, and Al told them that he cut the cast off. Al had ultimately changed his mind and said that he would take Takoda to Children's to be checked out on that coming Monday. Takoda was then released from the handcuffs. Following that call Al and Amanda made to police, there's no record that Takoda was ever taken to the hospital for any type of behavior evaluation. Meanwhile, Robin and her family have not spoken to Takoda. It wasn't until May of 2019 Robin learned that Al was actually in Ohio, and she files a motion for contempt in Wisconsin's family court against Al, stating that he has never brought Takoda back to see her since he left the state. That motion was dismissed on May 13th of 2019 due to the case now being in the jurisdiction of Ohio. The next day, Robin calls Dayton police.
Regional dispatch.
Hi, I need to speak with somebody about doing a welfare check on my son, who I believe is in danger right now.
Okay, at what address?
1934 Kensington Drive.
Okay, repeat that address for me once again.
1934 Kensington Drive. And I don't know how you guys do things or how it works or anything, but I believe that his father is abusing him and hurting him, and that he's too scared to tell anybody because his father won't let him talk to anybody. He's pulled him out of school. So if you guys need my permission, I'm giving you guys full permission to pull him to the side and speak with him without his father present.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Robin Collins, and I'm his mother.
And what's the custody situation with you guys?
He has full custody. Our custody agreement is that he's supposed to bring him back to the state 4 times a year. I'm supposed to have phone conversations with him once a week, talk to his schooling, and talk to his doctors. He has not abided by the court order in 4 years. I did not know where he was living because he was supposed to be living in Erie, Pennsylvania. Thank God that he caught a drunk driving in Dayton, Ohio, and now I have his address. I've been trying to work with him to talk to my son, and he's gave me a bunch of things that are very concerning. He locked him in his room. He tried to jump out a window. He sent him to school in a diaper. He pulled him out of school. He whips him with a belt. Just a bunch of stuff that's very concerning to me.
Okay. How old is your son?
He's 10. He'll be 11 in December.
What's his name?
His name is Takoda, Takoda.
And his last name?
Is Collins. Just the way that he's talking to him on the phone, telling him how angry he is with him and how if I don't come and get him, something's going to happen and he's going to take him to a group home and drop him off, and how when he acts up, how he disciplines him with a belt and he'll lock him in the room, and just very demeaning and very vulgar. I don't really know if he's telling the truth or not, but even if he's not, I would feel much better knowing that a police officer pulled my son to the side and talked to him one-on-one to make sure that nothing is going on. He won't let me talk to him. When he does let me talk to him, he stands over him on the phone and tells him what to say.
Okay.
I've spoke with him one time in the last 4 years, and that was 2 days ago.
And so you heard him yelling on the phone?
I have it recorded, ma'am, where he's talking about how he's so angry at Takoda and how he hates him, and just like a whole bunch of stuff. He yells at him, he's screaming at him, telling him to get on the floor, just like all types of stuff.
Police responded back to the House of Horrors on Kensington Drive to check on Takoda. They did make contact with Al, but he refused to let them in the house and talk to them through the screen door. He explained to the police that Robin lives out of state and is continuously or was continuously calling complaints on him. He stated Takoda is homeschooled, so he was home. He brought Takoda to the front door. The police said that Takoda was properly dressed and was reserved, not saying a lot. He was polite speaking with them and gave no indication that someone was troubling him. The police reported that there were no signs of injuries on Takoda, and as they looked through the front door, the house did not appear in disarray, and there was no foul odors. They cleared the call, leaving comments stating that Robin continues to call in well checks, and that Takoda was being taken care of, but still has behavior issues. They said Al appears to be taking care of his needs with no concerns. He explained that Robin does not have custodial rights, but he still allows Takoda to speak with her, and she makes promises that she never followed through with. Dispatch also attempted to call Robin back, but she did not answer the phone. 7 months later, after Robin made that call, Takoda's little body gave in. He couldn't take any more of the nightmare on Earth. He stopped breathing, and Monster McLean made this disgusting call. And as you'll hear, instead of communicating his son's current condition with dispatch, he spent much of the call down-talking Takoda, trying to paint him as this difficult child.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Yes, my son is unresponsive right now.
Your son
And I
is
need
Hold on. What's your address?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What's the address where he is?
The address is 1934 Kensington Drive.
1934 Kensington? So you said your son is Okay, you said your son is unresponsive?
Yep.
Okay, how old is he?
He's a child with a lot of medical issues. So what he do is he'll just not have it.
Stop, just for a minute. How old is he?
He's 11 years old.
Okay.
In 3 days.
And when you say he's unresponsive, is he breathing?
Yeah, but barely. I mean, he got skin tone.
Okay, just stay on the line with me for just a sec. Let me get him started, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You breathing? Hello?
I'm here. You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to my child.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure. I'm still here. All right, they're on their way to 80, stay on the phone, 1934 Kensington Drive, right?
Yes.
Is that
I'm blowing in his breath,
Okay,
and it smells real rotten in the inside of his stomach.
Okay, Is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house, ma'am.
Okay. So if he's breathing, let him breathe. So what I want you to do, I need you to lay him flat on the ground just for a minute, okay? Lay him flat on the ground so we can check his breathing, okay?
Okay, he's laid out on his ground now.
Okay. He's on his back?
Yes.
Okay. So I need you to check to see if his chest is rising, like look at it. And if you, is it rising up and down, rising and falling like he's breathing? Check that and then let me know. And also if you can feel or hear any breath out of his mouth or nose.
No, it's not rising up and down.
Okay. You said we're going to go ahead and start CPR, okay? So keep him laying
Yeah.
where he is, okay?
Okay. He got something coming out of his mouth.
Okay, what's coming out? What do you think is coming out?
I'm not sure what it is.
Okay. I want you to turn him on his side. Turn him on his side. That way, in case he vomits, he doesn't choke on it. So go ahead and turn him on his side, okay?
Okay. I did.
Can you clean that out of his mouth a little bit? Take your fingers and clean it out of his mouth, just so he doesn't choke on anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me know when you've done that, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Whatever in it coming out very, very rotten. It's a lot in his air passage, ma'am.
Okay, I understand. You
Say that.
you said he has medical history. What kind of medical history does he have?
I mean, just mental behavior. See, he just hurts himself all the time.
Okay.
He wake up, don't get his way, slam his head, eat his shit.
All right, I understand. Okay.
It never ends.
Okay, so is he still on his side?
Is he still on his side? Yes.
Okay, are you cleaning whatever you can out of his mouth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you think he could have taken anything, or you have no idea?
No, I don't give him access to anything.
Okay, go ahead.
I know he likes to eat his own poop and lay in his own pee all day.
Okay.
He won't stop at no cost.
Okay.
You all right?
Is he responding to
Breathe
it at
for
all?
him.
Is he breathing?
It's hard to say. I see his eyes.
Okay, and what are his eyes doing? Like, are they moving? Is any part of his body moving?
No, they just still.
Okay, go ahead and lay him on his back again. If you think his mouth
Now
is clean out
something
as
coming
best
out
you
his
can.
nose. He's throwing up out his nose now.
Okay, then lay him on his side, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And just
What
do your
about
best.
CPR?
Well, you need to clean out his air passages as best you can before you can start CPR.
That's what you're telling me.
But if
I'm trying to hold it in there.
if you think it's as cleaned up as you can do it, then you can go ahead and start with the breath. You tell me. Is there anyone else there with you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, is the door unlocked?
Yeah, the front door is unlocked.
Okay, they're on their way. Okay, you're going to start breathing into his mouth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want you to...
I'm going to clear the air passage out.
Okay, yes, clear it out as best you can. I understand that there's something in there.
Yeah.
So you're going to tilt his head up, his forehead up, so it's facing the ceiling, so his airway is open as best as you can. And you're going to blow...
Tilt his forehead up.
Yeah, tilt his forehead up a little bit.
Okay.
And you're going to blow 2 breaths into his mouth, okay? You're going to cover his mouth with your mouth. Go ahead.
Oh, God.
Okay, and tell me if you see anything that's different. Is he breathe like, is it watch his chest? And check for any...
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then you're going to continue to give him mouth to mouth. We're going to do chest compressions, okay? So you're going to put his hands, your 2 hands, between his breastbone, and you're going to press down hard and fast, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So go ahead and continue doing that. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Can you count with me? Just tell me when you're doing it, please.
Yes. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, go ahead and give him a breath, okay? When you breathe in, if you can face his chest and see if you can see his chest rising up and down with your breath.
Nothing.
Okay, I want you to go ahead and continue with the chest compressions, okay? And we're going to go ahead and count.
No air.
No, just go ahead and do with the chest compressions right now. 5, 6, 7, count with me, 8, 9,
9, 10.
Okay, 11,
1,
keep going.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Keep going.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so you're doing a good job.
Ambulance
Okay.
is here now.
Okay, go ahead and open the door for me.
Every day. Come on, we're live. Think you did? Let's step outside for me. Hey, go ahead and talk to the officer. How you doing, officer? Good, how are you? Pretty good. You know what's going on here? Well, I check on my child today, right? He cut the fool all day, and he gets out the bed, he wants to bang his head against the wall. I mean, he got down here before, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he hurt himself, and bruised all over his body. Wham, bam, anyway, and, yeah. So today, it's up. And, all the human beings, he falls wherever he can on his own shit. Yeah, on a regular, you know what I mean? There's nothing. Oh, yeah, they can stop and everything. It don't stop. So this is what it was today. I'm just calling for help. Like, yeah, help. So I want to check on him. Yeah, I want to you live here with him and they call you on the phone and say, no, I'll be right here. What's your name, sir? L-E behind the phone. A-L-A-A-H-A-N. This morning I went to check on him and he's just taking something behind. Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah. So I gave me grab all kind of stuff. So he had like a chair there. He stuck it up his butt. Yeah. So I took that away from him, put him in the shower. Here it is. I mean, I check on him hourly. He called my name. Dad. What's your last name, sir? Okay. Yeah. M-C-C-L-E? No, M-C-L-E. What's your social, sir? 152. 86. Your birthday? 4189. What's your number for that? No, I don't have 910 527 807. 910 937 937 807. What's your son's name? 45. O-L-L-I-N. What's his birthday? Birthday? Yeah. December 18th, 2005. Okay. Yeah, we can roll up in this year. I need to talk to myself. Yeah. There were, I tell you, I got four. Did he say that he did diagnose with anything? No, I mean, not that we checked out when he was not very bad. They got something about it. It's nothing wrong with him. He took the children and they got a dog. every day you want to go to school, act out. Shit, yeah, so we show them. You know, I had one put at home. Yeah, during the process. I got home. And nobody tells me. Yeah. I've been taking care of everything with it. Yeah, take care of everything. Freedom. What's the name? Name of the code. Yeah, okay. Freedom out. Going dead. Here, is he your child? Yes, he's breathing dead now. So he's not breathing at all? All right. I try to keep the guys here fast as I could. Last time I seen him alive, he was probably like breathing. It was probably like 2013. So, I mean, right before I made the phone call. You know what I mean? I'm on the phone. I'll like I have to stay out here. Stay out of here. Yeah, you gotta stay out here. Stay out there, all right? This long, Robbie House, Addison, time. Yeah, now we go cut together. Yeah, come on, cut together. Not to go to not go nowhere. No. Yeah, I can show off. Yeah. You know what I mean? I told you before. Now, for people, for him, it was some work to him, or yeah, it's out one. Yeah, I called before, yeah. Hey, it's not that one on two. Yeah.
When paramedics arrived, Monster McLean was waiting at the door. Takoda lay alone, badly damaged and unresponsive on the living room floor. The first responding officer pulls Al to the front porch to allow paramedics to work on Takoda. On the front porch, Monster McLean continues his rant from that 911 call. When paramedics indicated that Takoda had passed away, his response was, "All right, I tried to get you guys here as fast as I could." Paramedics continued to try life-saving efforts on Takoda, including taking him to the hospital where he was unfortunately officially pronounced deceased. When police did a search of the house, out of all of the family photos that hung, there was not one picture of Takoda. When Al and Amanda took custody of Al's little brother, he claimed Takoda's room. The police found no age-appropriate toys, school books, or clothing for Takoda on the main level. The basement was occupied by the dogs, and in the living room, there was a door that led to the attic where Takoda was made to live. An overwhelming smell of urine and feces smacked detectives in the face as they reached the stairway. It was dark, no light source, and detectives had to use their flashlights to see. No clothes, no books, no toys. Only filth, human waste, bugs, and a broken chair. Further in the attic was another locked room. Inside was a bloody tarp and a filthy lawn chair. This would serve as Takoda's bedding when he was allowed to have it. There was a camera that was found also in that room, dismantled. This was the camera that all three monsters used to watch over Takoda. Before calling 911, Al had disconnected that camera. Amanda, Jennifer, and Al's little brother all arrived after Takoda was taken to the hospital. Everyone was taken to the police department for interviews. Following his interview, Al was taken to the hospital to treat his little boo-boo to his lip after his less than 30-second scuffle with police. While there, he made even more incriminating statements. At least 7 times he is heard saying, "He must have drowned because I did not beat his ass that bad today." There was nothing doctors could do for Al's lip. He was discharged and booked into the Montgomery County Jail. 3 days later, a search warrant was served, but Amanda and Jennifer had had time to clean up some evidence, but police were still able to retrieve items that were involved in the nightmare treatment of Takoda. Though they were released after their interviews, Amanda and Jennifer were finally arrested on December 20th, 2019, a week after Takoda's death. The investigation included the police talking to many people, family members, and also one of Al's co-workers.
Left a message on my machine or my voicemail.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Hey, I actually was calling in regards to Al Matahan McLean. I probably butchered his name, but Al McLean.
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is that you knew him a little bit, or you worked with him.
I worked with him. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what can you tell me about him?
As far as what his work ethic?
Well, maybe work ethic, but also, do you know anything? Did you ever hear him talk about his children, or?
Oh, definitely. He talks about. As a matter of fact, he had asked me for I'd say a period of a couple of weeks, asked me how I disciplined my children and how he would give me a scenario and how I would deal with that scenario. And I would tell him flat out, So I knew he was having issues with his one child. He didn't go into too much detail other than the fact that he would give me a scenario. One of them, in fact, was his kid was putting holes in the walls at his house and was out of control. And I told him, that if it was that bad, that he probably should contact the police, because he told me no matter what he did, this kid was out of control. And I told him that, you should probably contact the police if it's that bad. And then he would ask me how I disciplined my children. And I said, I would ask you, in what way? And he would say, let's say, and he would give me a scenario, and I'd tell him how I would discipline my kids.
Okay. Do you remember any other scenarios that he gave you?
Not off the top of my head. The one about putting the holes in the walls was the biggest one that I do remember.
Okay. Did he ever tell you he called the police or anything?
No, he never did. He kind of kept to himself. He would come out to breaks, and that's when he would talk to me, was at lunchtime or at break when we would all be out smoking. He would kind of hang out by us, and then if nobody was around, that's when he'd ask me how I would discipline my kids. But other than that, he was kind of kept to himself. I wouldn't say a recluse, because he did come out to break with us, but he wouldn't talk much.
Did he ever mention how he disciplined his kids?
No, not at all.
How long ago was that?
I would say because he only worked last spring. He worked here, I think, until about May, and then he got hired on a little bit before I did, and then he more or less walked out here. He wasn't doing well in his job. His work ethic was terrible, and he had a job that was shipping out one day, and it was wrong, and he pretty much just grabbed his tools and left.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that... Did you ever meet his girlfriend Amanda or anything?
No, we seen her because she would pick him up. He never drove. He always had her bring him and pick him up from work. As far as meeting her, no, but I saw her, sitting in the car.
Okay. Did he ever, I don't know, smell like alcohol or anything like that?
No, because my understanding is he was on probation. There were a couple times where he had to take PTO, which is personal time off, because he had to, my understanding, serve time on the weekends in jail for whatever case. But as far if he did smell like alcohol, I never noticed. He was very unhygienic to the point where the team lead out here would get into him with it about his hygiene and how he smelled. He we'd actually turned the ceiling fans on because he smelled so bad.
Really? What did he smell like?
EO.
Oh, really? Okay. Not urine or anything.
He had dreads. I don't know if he still does or not, but he had dreads, and his dreads smelled terrible.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to work with him because he smelled bad, and, I mean, his work ethic was absolutely terrible.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ramsey, well, I really, really appreciate you talking to me.
And when they spoke to Amanda and Jennifer's mother, she sounded unbothered by the fact that her girls stood by watching Takoda go through hell, watching over him on a camera from the living room, reporting back to Al the minute Takoda does something Al didn't want him to, or if he moved from one of the painful punishment positions Al made him stand in for hours at a time, sometimes for a full day.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, is this Dawn?
Yep.
Dawn, I don't want to butcher your last name. How do you pronounce your last name?
Anbihan?
Anbihan. Okay. This is Detective Melissa Sloss with the Dayton Police Department.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, I'm the investigator on this case with Takoda Collins. So I'm trying to just get as much information as I can, okay?
Okay.
I look for facts. That's kind of what I do.
Right.
Did you have interaction with Takoda?
Did I have what?
Interaction. Like, did you ever see Takoda?
Maybe once a year they came up for Christmas, usually.
Okay. I know that Amanda talked to you pretty frequently. Did you ever really talk to Jenny while she was living with them?
Not very often, no.
Okay. Did Amanda ever voice concerns to you about Takoda?
She said a few things, like she tried to get help for him, and everybody turned her down. They said he was too young.
Okay. Did she tell you who she tried to get help from?
No.
Okay.
Well, one was the hospital, the time that he jumped out the window.
Okay. Did she mention to you what was going on with him that they needed help for?
Oh, there was incidences where she would find him. She mentioned one time she found him dancing on the table with his older brother, and he was naked, and he had his own finger up his butt. There was another time she told me that she caught him trying to stick a dog toy up his butt. She caught him like banging his head on the wall for no reason. And I mean, she just told me stuff like that.
Well, let me ask you, John, when did she tell you this? Did she tell you this after Al was already locked up, or did she tell you this in the past?
That was way before that.
Okay. Did she tell you anything about the older brother?
No.
Okay. And you didn't talk to Jenny very much, right?
No.
Okay. I just want to kind of understand. When was the last time that you saw Takoda?
What's it been, a couple of years?
A couple of years. Okay.
A couple of years, I think, since he's been up here, yeah.
Okay. Did she ever talk about him to you within that time? Like,
what do you mean?
I mean, so have you discussed Takoda with her at all from a couple of years of you not seeing him? Did she talk about him at all? Or did she just kind of talk about JoJo?
More on JoJo, but, I mean, I'd ask her how Dakota was doing, and she'd always say he's fine.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's as far as it went.
Okay. And you never talked to Dakota, though?
No. Only when he was here.
Right. Okay. As far as Al goes, I'm trying to figure out a little bit about him.
I really don't know much about him. When they come up, it's only for a couple days. I mean, I really don't talk to him. I spend time with my girls when they come up, you know.
Gotcha.
And sometimes he didn't even come up. He stayed home, you know, so.
Okay. Let's see what else. We did make sure that Jenny had your phone number here.
She called me once, and that was I don't even know. That's been a couple weeks ago already.
Yeah, because I don't think she knew your number.
Probably not. She probably don't remember, kind of with her ADHD and all that, so.
So did she have issues when she was there? I mean, as far as when talking about, like, mental health stuff, I mean, is it just like ADHD?
When she was down there, Amanda took her to the doctor, I guess, and they found out she was bipolar. She's always been suicidal. She's been depressed. I mean, she was here sometimes depressed, but it got worse as she went down there, I think.
Is that
she always
coming
told
from?
Me she wanted.
I'm sorry. Was that coming from her or coming from Amanda?
What's that?
That she was, like, depressed and all that when she
Well,
was...
it's coming from me.
No, but I'm saying,
things
like...
that I've noticed.
Oh, okay. Okay, like actual notice in her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, there was times that she would come up and she would say she didn't want to go back. She always would cry, I don't want to go back. But she had, she wanted to because of her dog. Because we don't like pit bulls, so we don't allow pit bulls here. And so that was the only holdback for her.
Okay.
Or she would have been back here with us.
Well, I feel like Jenny was a little bit mistreated too.
I have a feeling too. To my knowledge, I mean, what I think both my girls were threatened in some way from him. I don't know. I just have that feeling. And they're both afraid to say anything because they don't, because Amanda is so in love with this guy. It's not funny. I've been trying to tell her he's not getting out. He's in there for good. I said, move on with your life. If you have anything on him, tell them.
Right.
Because to me, I don't know. I feel uneasy about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you talking to me. Obviously I'm a fact finder, so I want to know. Obviously, I don't know them. I didn't know them until this happened. So then coming into the investigation, that's why I need to talk to people who know them before this, and kind of throughout. I mean, obviously you're their mother, so
right.
You would know them better than anybody.
Yeah.
And as far as Takoda goes, I mean, obviously Amanda and Al had custody of him for a while.
Right.
Did you see him more frequently, obviously, back when he first got him?
Yeah, when they first got him, he would come up with them all the time. But Amanda and Jenny came up, I think, the first or second week in September of this year here, or this last year. And they left both boys home with Al.
Right.
And they were here for like a week. So, I mean, a lot of that could have happened when the girls were here. I don't know.
Right. Did Jenny...
But like I told Amanda...
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, if I knew this was going on, I would have got that kid out of there a long time ago.
Right. I truly believe that. Now, I'm wondering, did Jenny mention anything to you when she was home this time? I know you said before there was times where she said she didn't want to go back. Did she voice any concerns when she was there this past time in September?
No. She just said she didn't want to go back, and that's every time she's here, but she never said much more than that.
Okay. Which dog was hers?
Oh, which dog is Jenny's? The Nico, the big blue male.
Nico?
Yeah, Nico.
Oh, Nico. Okay. Okay. Well, if you have any questions, or if you have any information you think I need to know, this is my direct line, and I am the detective on this case.
Okay.
So if I can help you with anything, don't hesitate to call me. And if there are questions that I can answer, I have no problem answering them for you.
All right. So, I mean, is it looking not good for my girls, or what? I'm just scared for my girls.
I get that. It's not looking good because it went on for a long time, and they had knowledge of it. Now it could come down to, where, they have to testify against him or something along those lines,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And her lawyer's already told her that, but I even talked to her about it, and she says she will not testify against him because she loves him so much. Well, she needs to wake up.
Well, I think that she's going to learn things about Al that she may not know, even. I mean,
right.
That's, Al wasn't all just about Amanda, and
right.
Unfortunately, I think it was a lot more one way, and not to kind of, I think she's kind of probably going through a lot right now, but.
Right. Because, I mean, I'll tell you something. I mean, was it probably a few years ago, I know Amanda came up and Al stayed home, and she had a bruise on her eye, and she told us that she ran into a pole. We all knew better because you don't get a perfectly round bruise from running into a pole. I think he was hitting her.
Yeah. And that probably was true. And,
right.
But
she's so in love with him, she's not going to, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, hopefully she'll come to her senses at some point. I mean, obviously a 10-year-old little boy died, and that's not normal.
Right.
So we know quite a bit happened. And it wasn't, just a short amount of time. So, it's not like it just happened in one day and somebody wasn't home. So.
Right.
But yeah. So do you have any other questions for me? I mean, I'll answer them if I can.
I don't think so.
Okay, well.
Amanda and Jennifer were never witnesses or victims in this case. They both participated and encouraged this unbelievable treatment of Takoda. Jennifer would make sure Takoda was locked in the attic. She allowed him out only when Al's little brother would not have to see him. Of the three monsters who were in the role of caretaker, Jennifer had the opportunity to have the most contact with Takoda. She didn't work, didn't have a car, and she was at home for most of her days. Although she provided the details that assisted the police and prosecutors, any remorse that she had shown for Takoda came way too late. Amanda, a woman who inserted herself in Takoda's life as a mother figure, promised to care for him as her own, did the complete opposite. Takoda called Amanda mom, which is the most devastating thing. He was supposed to be nurtured, not held captive. When she and Al pulled him out of school, it was her who prepared the documents making the false promise of home education. Amanda and Jennifer provided the details of Takoda's last hours on Earth. Al had been out drinking, and when he came home, he turned his anger on Takoda. Jennifer from another room heard Takoda crying, saying, "No more," just like he always begged his father to stop. Amanda had dozed off on the couch and woke up to Al punching Takoda hard in his stomach, consistent with the internal bruising that was visible during Takoda's autopsy. The next morning, before Al's 3-year-old little brother woke up, Jennifer called Takoda to come downstairs to use the bathroom. Takoda was walking but holding on to the walls. He would wobble and fall and stand back up. Al's response was to elbow him hard in the back and order him back upstairs. Once upstairs, Al gave instructions to put away his folding chair and to get into his punishment pose. Takoda was punished because he didn't move fast enough. Al standing on his back, forcing all his weight, even reaching to the ceiling to push down his weight extra hard, crushing Takoda's slim body. After all of this, Al goes back downstairs with his brother and Jennifer and watch television. All while he's still yelling at Takoda, calling him derogatory names. He poured hot sauce on his behind, which was something he would do, calling it one of his parenting tools. Takoda was tossed and dragged, ended up in the bathroom downstairs. From the living room, Jennifer could hear splashing and Takoda gasping for air. After all of that, the unbelievable acts continued. And when Al returned downstairs, Jennifer saw him toss that chair leg. Takoda never made another sound. His body just couldn't take anymore. Jennifer recalls going to sleep, and when she was awoken, it was to Amanda telling her that Takoda was not breathing. And rather check on Takoda or call 911, they leave the house, turning their backs on Takoda one last time. Once all three of these monsters were behind bars, Amanda was assisted by her mother to stay connected with Al. She'd send her mother a message who would then send the message to Al. They were able to keep this up for a couple months before jail staff learned of the system and warned Dawn that she would lose communication with her daughters if she didn't stop. Amanda thought Al was the love of her life, but did she know that Al was having sex or had sex with her little sister? He admitted it on a jail call with one of his homeboys.
No, bro, no, don't know what to say, you hear me? Don't know what to write, you hear me? Man, I feel you, bro, you hear me?
Yeah, I can't believe this fucking nasty bitch. But the more she lied though, the more it looks bad on her.
Yeah,
she don't understand that. You hear me?
Looks stupid, you hear me? Yeah, I know,
bro.
Looks
stupid as fuck, you hear me?
Yeah.
But damn, the only thing I'm worried about, I can't even tell the truth about that. It's my girl, you hear me?
You got to, bro, but fucking her?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all, you don't fuck before, you hear me? She don't suck y'all and y'all fuck before, fuck you, hear me?
But that's the thing. I tell my girl that it's a wrap.
I know she won't motherfucking be pissed off, you hear me? But
more than pissed off, she ain't. It's over.
Right, I know, you hear me? So I don't know what to say. You don't, man, I don't know what to do about that.
It is a wrap. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she probably know that already.
I'm just not gonna tell her.
I think she know that already, though. You hear me? You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
She expected it, though. You hear me?
Just she probably got it in her mind, but I'm not.
Right.
Look, I've been thinking about it all night. Hear me?
Yeah.
I can't.
All right.
That's why I'm gonna have to take to the grave. You hear me?
Yeah.
Got to.
All right,
I can't
bro.
tell that girl that. That girl been telling me every day since we've been in here, no matter what, she'll be with me, regardless, no matter what. You hear me?
All right. She just don't do that.
She love me, and no matter what, she'll never turn her back on me.
All right.
So for me to tell her that,
right.
Come on now.
I don't know.
Meanwhile, Amanda's behind bars, still in denial and sticking behind Al.
Yeah, I said if they do go to court today, it'll probably be on the news tonight. So I don't know if you want to watch it or not. You get to see them. So you'll be able to probably be able to see Jenny on the news if she goes to court.
Yeah, it'll be on Google too.
It'll be what?
I can Google it. It'll be on there too.
Yeah, it's at 2 o'clock, but it probably won't be on the news till like 5 or something. 5 o'clock news.
Yeah, but eventually your lawyer did tell you that you're going to have to probably testify against him.
You did what?
I said your lawyer did tell you that you probably have to testify against Al eventually.
No, I refuse. I'll be in contempt of court. I'm not testifying. I'm not saying anything bad about him because he didn't do anything bad. So we'll just have to hold him until longer. I don't give a fuck. I already told my lawyer I'm not going against him. He did nothing wrong. So you just have to hold me longer. Fuck it. What's worse gonna happen? They'll lock me up. I'm already been here for fucking 30 days. I mean, 26 days already. And ain't shit happened yet, so stuck here. And now I gotta wait another week to go to court. Like, I'm ready to just get this shit over with.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm supposed to see my lawyer today to get the discovery packet and see what I'm looking at, see what evidence I have and all that shit. So,
Yeah.
I'll probably be in with my lawyer for a while. I don't know.
After scheduled court or before?
Well, if I might not have court if you got mine reschedule them.
Right.
So he'll probably come see me instead. I don't know if he got it rescheduled or not. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for him to either come see me or call me for court. Either one.
Right.
I don't know.
We all know how much media attention across the world Takoda's death brought. And this brought on a concern for defense attorneys. A change of venue was requested by one defense attorney in July 2020. Then in October 2020, another defense attorney filed a gag order stating, as the court is well aware, this case has attracted widespread media attention, including national news coverage and ongoing stories in the local newspaper. Now, the gag order was granted, and it stayed in effect until Al pled guilty. Prior to his guilty plea, he had written to the court twice, once in October 2020 and again in July 2021. In October, he told the judge that he hoped to prove that he was innocent and requested a speedy trial. And in both of those motions, he told the judge that there were issues between him and his attorneys. Jennifer was the first to take her plea deal in May of 2020. She pled to 2 counts and was sentenced to 8 to 12 years in prison. She was admitted into the Ohio Reformatory for Women on October 22nd, 2021. Per DOC records, she'll be eligible for parole in 2027. Amanda followed suit and took a plea deal on multiple charges. She was sentenced to a minimum of 22 years in prison. She's housed at the Dayton Correctional Institution. She was also admitted on October 22nd, 2021, and she will not be eligible for parole until 2041. Al's prison admission came on November 1st, 2021. He's housed at the Allen Correctional Institution, and his ass will be behind those walls for a very long time. Per DOC records, his first parole hearing will not come before year 2070. Now, a year prior to Al, Amanda, and Jennifer being sentenced, Takoda's estate sued Montgomery County and others. And yes, there were many missed opportunities to save Takoda. However, he wasn't just failed by social services. His family failed him too. His mother was the first to mistreat him. His grandmother, Kelly, who couldn't even show her face on camera during the press conference that was held by the lawyer representing Takoda's estate, just like she wasn't showing up to the family court service appointments in Wisconsin before Takoda was ever taken across state lines. What was the rush to file this wrongful death suit before the criminal case was even resolved? Were they using this baby's death as an opportunity for them to elevate their lives? This is what she had to say.
Words about Takoda, about who he was, what type of kid he was, and how he was a bright light in her life. Ms. Sandoval.
Hi. Yeah, Takoda, he was a funny kid. He loved to play. He loved Halloween. He loved just to be around his family. He loved everything about life. He loved to play games. He was only, when he left here, 5 years old. So he was just starting out. This is a tragedy that this happened, and he goes everywhere with us now. I have him here with me every day. This is just really hard. Takoda was the light of our lives. Now we're missing out on everything. We're not going to. He's not going to have a girlfriend. He's not going to have kids. He's not going to be a part of our lives anymore. You know, and he loved to ride his bike and fall down in the grass because he didn't know how to ride his bike. And social services need to be held accountable for this.
Thank you, Ms. Sandoval.
Let's talk about what this involves. It's Takoda Collins' estate. First, there's an administrator for the estate. That's a person who has now stepped in and taken Takoda's place since he died. That admin is a legal representation of Takoda and works with an attorney to file lawsuits on his behalf since Takoda can't do that himself any longer. The estate itself is made up of Takoda's surviving family members. So the I-team dug into who now decides who in the family gets this money, especially since prosecutors say his own dad murdered him. In the wrongful death lawsuit Takoda Collins' estate filed against Montgomery County, the county, its commissioners, and administrator were all named as defendants, and so was the county's Children's Services Agency, its top 2 officials, and 7 other Children's Services employees. Now, after a 7-month legal battle, the lawyer representing the estate says they've reached a settlement.
Well, at this point, we've come to a financial resolution of $3,250,000.
But this is not a done deal. Montgomery County Commissioners still have to formally approve the resolution. The I-team reached out to the county for comment, and a spokesperson sent us this statement from County Administrator Michael Colbert saying, "I have not yet presented anything to our commissioners in terms of an agreement, and until we have Board of County Commissioners approval, this is an ongoing legal matter." But Wright says the 2 sides have negotiated this financial resolution, and now the final step will be for a probate judge to decide who from Collins' estate,
so mother, grandmother, siblings,
gets how much money. Here's how that'll work. The administrator for the estate fills out an application that recommends to the probate judge who they think should get the money. Then that judge has the final say on approving the application.
There probably would be trusts that will be set up for the minors. There may be trusts set up for the other next of kin, but ultimately that's up to the probate court to approve the distribution.
A lot of Channel 7 viewers have asked, will Takoda Collins' dad, Al McLean, get any money? He's family, but Montgomery County prosecutors also say he murdered his son. Wright told the I-team Tuesday that McLean will not get anything from this settlement. He won't be able to benefit from a death prosecutors say he caused.
We all have an idea of who actually benefited from Takoda's untimely passing. But let's confirm it in black and white. As you heard, there's an application that is filled out and the probate or a probate judge decides upon the disbursement of the settlement funds. The application was actually submitted to the probate judge on June 9th of 2021. So here we have it, the application to approve settlement and distribution of wrongful death and survival claims. Every box that's checked will apply. The first box being that there is an offer of partial settlement after suit was filed. The amount of the settlement or judgment we all know was $3,250,000. Now this next box kind of explains the first box that was checked, I believe. It says there is a partial settlement and therefore the estate must remain open pending final disposition of the claims. The next box has the funeral cost, funeral and burial expenses in the amount of $699. Next box has reasonable compensation for the fiduciary for services rendered in the amount of $70,000. Now this box isn't checked, but there is a dollar amount or dollar amounts in this section here. A reasonable attorney fee for the attorney's services in the amount of $1.3 million and reimbursement to the attorney for case expenses is $47,694 with 37 cents. The net proceeds of $1,861,606 with 63 cents should be allocated. Repeats that number again, to the wrongful death action and $0 to the survival action. A statement in support thereof is attached. Let's see what's attached. A statement in support of the pro-offered settlement is attached. Now, the next box has a word that I'm just not going to embarrass myself by butchering as many times as I try to pronounce it. It pretty much identifies the fact that the beneficiaries of the wrongful death action suit are not of blood relation, one or more of the beneficiaries are minors, or the beneficiaries have not agreed how the net proceeds are to be distributed. And here we go. The surviving spouse, children, and parents of the descendant and the other next of kin who have suffered damages by reason of Takoda's wrongful death are listed here, and the distribution should be as follows. It looks like they're trying to split it all equal between Takoda's mother, his grandmother, and his 3 surviving siblings. As previously mentioned on the prior page, everybody's not related by blood. Takoda has 2 half-brothers, looks like from Al, and now we know how North Carolina came into play when that Wisconsin family court petition for child enforcement was filed. And he has a sister from his mother as well. So remember, this is just an application, a proposal of how the settlement should be distributed between his surviving family members. But did the judge agree to this? So looking at the docket, it looks like it took about 3 months, a little over 3 months, for a hearing to be set. And that hearing is to approve the settlement and the distribution of that settlement money. And the hearing was held on September 16th, 2021. Let's take a look. So the last one was an application. This is the entry approving settlement and distribution of wrongful death and survival claims. Upon hearing the application to approve settlement and distribution of the wrongful death and survival claims, the court approves the pro-offer settlement of $3,250,000. It approves the $699 for the funeral and burial expenses. It orders a payment in the amount of $34,254 to the fiduciary for services rendered with respect to the wrongful death and survival claims. It ordered the payment for the case expenses for $47,694.37, as well as the $1.3 million for attorney fees. The court also ordered that the net proceeds of $1,867,352.63 be allocated to the wrongful death claim and $0 to the survival claim. The amount allocated to the survival claim shall be considered an asset of the estate and shall be reflected in the fiduciary's account of the administration of the estate. Also, the court ordered distribution of the net proceeds, which is that $1.8 million, allocated to the wrongful death claim to the surviving spouse, children, parents, and the next of kin, in the equitable shares shown below, fixed by the court having due regard for the injury and loss to each beneficiary resulting from the death and for the age and condition of the beneficiaries. Now, moving along, there's nothing written on this line, but there's some sort of initial here for this line that represents a child or children be deposited in a trust for the benefit of the children until 25 years of age. Authorizes the fiduciary to execute a release which, upon payment, shall be a discharge of the claim. Orders the fiduciary and the attorney to report the distribution of the proceeds within 60 days of the date of this entry. Further orders Khalil McLean, Caden McLean, and Trinity Collins monies be structured. And this is what the judge decided on the distribution of those funds between Takoda's surviving relatives. His mother, Robin Collins, was given $50,000. His grandmother, Kelly, was given $100,000. His 2 brothers and his sister all split the same amount, over $500,000, which was ordered by the court to be put in a trust until they are all 25 years old. And remember, the judge also further ordered that all of his siblings' monies be structured. So maybe that means even once they hit 25, they'll only be permitted to get a portion at a time, possibly. I'm not sure. the logistics of that, but that's what it sounds like. What do you think, my friends? And of course, as mentioned, Al McLean gets nothing. Now, we all like a good receipt, so let's take a look at some of the receipts after the court made its ruling. There's the funeral bill for $699 Kelly signed off on. We have a $390,000 attorney fee receipt. There's Kelly's $100,000 settlement proceed receipt. A receipt for $32,554 for the fiduciary fee. There's Robin, Takoda's mother's receipt for her $50,000 in the settlement proceeds. And Michael Wright, the attorney for Takoda's estate, got a $384,981 receipt or check. And we have case expenses, $33,142.95. Another receipt for attorney fees in the amount of $520,000. Remember, the total was like $1.3 million. And there was one more receipt for $1,700 for fiduciary fees. Now, there was another application for wrongful death submitted to the court December 28th, 2021. Now, those were receipts. So we know those people got paid. Those receipts were scanned in on December 8th. So why is another application for wrongful death being submitted to the court about 20 days later after they scanned in those receipts? Remember the boxes that were checked, meaning that this was a partial settlement? Let's take a look at this application and see if it happens to circle the full settlement. And indeed it does, my friend. It states this is another application. We've already been there, done that, so we just going to get straight to it. This box here, the first box or second box, but first box check shows that there is an offer of full settlement after suit was filed. The amount of the settlement or judgment is $685,000. Reasonable compensation for the fiduciary for services rendered on this one is $1,000. No hospital medical bills. Reasonable attorney fee for the attorney's services is $274,000. And reimbursement to the attorney for case expenses is $2,627.73. So the net proceeds of $407,372.27 should be allocated to the wrongful death action and $0 to the survival action. Let's move right along and see how they're proposing that $407,000 be dispersed. So they're suggesting that Robin and Kelly, mother and grandmother, split the $407,000 evenly between the two of them, leaving none of the surviving siblings, half-siblings, any portion of this $600,000 settlement. The second settlement, that is. But did the judge approve the application? Let's take a look at the second entry approving settlement and distribution of the $685,000 settlement. So yeah, all of the fees were approved as proposed, as well as the net proceeds for the settlement. But who got the settlement? Robin and Kelly. It was approved by the court, ordered by the judge that they would split the $407,000 evenly, both collecting over $200,000. In total, Robin got $250,000 behind her son's death, the same son that she lost custody of at 11 months old, and Kelly Sandoval. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just stating the facts because I saw the docket, how she wasn't showing up to family court services. She wasn't going to mediation. She complained about transportation issues, etc., etc. She gained over $300,000 for her grandson's passing. And I don't see her advocating for any type of reforms, any type of changes through social services, children's services, and family services or whatnot. I can't even find a Facebook on Miss Kelly. She done got this money and dipped, fell off the face of earth, and she might get wind of this. I would love for her to see a comment from Kelly in the comments, but something just don't sit well with me about this. And yes, I know, who is Anna B to judge or have an opinion other than an individual entitled to her own opinion. But reading in black and white that Takoda's Wisconsin court-appointed guardian had not heard anything from Kelly Sandoval since May of 2015 and closed her file for 6 years later, her to profit over $300,000 from Takoda's death, kind of pisses me off. On another note, another sad component to this case is the fact that a little over a year and a half after Robin, Takoda's mother, was awarded her portion of this settlement, she passed away unexpectedly in August of 2023. I am not sure how Robin passed away. Her obituary said that she passed away unexpectedly on August 6th of 2023. But if you know, you know. And we know that Robin battled with substance abuse. And I'm sorry, my mind can only wonder, had Takoda not lost his life and Robin not been awarded all that money, would she too still be alive? Now, mother and son are back reunited. Because despite her demons, I truly believe Robin loved her baby. And she did what she could do in her capacity to try and help Takoda. This was a very, very tough case. This was one of the worst cases ever. But Takoda too deserved his name to be said and his story to be told. Takoda will always be remembered. And he did not deserve what these people did to him. I am so saddened that the fact that this baby did not get to live to his full potential. He didn't get the love that he wanted, needed, and deserved. He's forever engraved in a lot of our hearts around the world, and we will never forget Takoda Hayden Collins. He's now resting in peace, safely with his mama. Thank you so very much for watching, my friends, and please, please, drop a heart in the comment section for Takoda. Until next time, you all be good.